Family Guy is known for pushing boundaries, but sometimes it doesn't just cross the line, it obliterates it. From jaw-dropping jokes to moments that made even longtime fans shake their heads in disbelief, here are the times Family Guy went too dark. The first episode on the list is The Splendid Source. In this episode, Peter and the boys travel around the US to find the source of all dirty jokes. The episode starts with Quahog boys chilling at the Clam as usual, as they drink beer and poke fun at various figures. If the things weren't already hilarious enough, Quagmire decides to make things even funnier as he tells the boys a joke about a chick who meets this guy at a bar.
P.S. Your vagina's in the sink.
Oh God, I pooped my pants.
It's funny when it happens to other people.
That's like watching your parents scold your younger siblings for wetting their beds. Ah, what a pleasant feeling that was to finally see someone suffer the same as I do. Peter runs off to the toilet to clean his soiled pants, and when he comes back, he complains about how there was nothing there to hang his dirtied underwear, so he just slapped it on the floor and came back. Guys like Peter are the reason why public toilets are always so stinky and dirty. Quagmire and Joe don't understand what was so funny about the joke that Peter shat himself, so he can't help but recall the joke, but this only makes Peter shit himself once again.
Wow, he poops every time he hears that joke.
Yeah.
After learning that Peter is weak to this joke, Quagmire and Joe use it whenever they can, and it's always hilarious to see Peter shit himself. Peter is extremely tired of it, so he closes off all the curtains of his house and even turns off his cell phone so that he won't hear this joke anymore. But at night, Peter is peacefully sleeping when Quagmire bribes a nightmare demon to go into Peter's dreams to tell him the joke.
Peter, you just pooped all over the bed.
When you poop in your dreams, you poop for real.
Ah yes, the breaking point, when you realize that peeing in your dreams wets your bed in real life too. Also, what's with these calls of nostalgia? I'm here for dark humor, not my childhood nightmares. Although they were pretty dark and now humorous when I think of them. Anyway, Peter is tired of constantly soiling his pants whenever Quagmire or Joe tell him the joke. After spending hours thinking of a way to fix this, Peter finally found the perfect solution. And no, it's not him not wearing any pants in the first place.
Hey, those are my pants.
That's right. Thought I'd come by and see if you have any jokes to tell.
This is where Quagmire becomes afraid and decides not to joke about it anymore. He even dares Quagmire to not say anything as he has only a few pairs of these pants and he doesn't want to ruin them with Peter's shit. After settling down, Peter and the boys are chatting about dirty jokes when he suddenly questions, where do these dirty jokes even come from in the first place? So he asks Quagmire who told him that joke, and after learning the person who told him, they track him down to ask him where he heard it from. One by one, they track down the chain of links between the joke, and soon enough, they hit their first concrete wall. The last person happens to be a bartender at a bar in Virginia, so they have to drive there to meet him for themselves.
Say, ladies, I was wondering if you could tell me, what was childbirth like?
Oh, Glenn, you have no idea. It's something no man could understand.
The bartender, while trying to control his laughter, points towards a customer who turns out to be none other than their friend Cleveland, who moved away after he got married. The group asks Cleveland about the source of the joke, to which he answers them that he heard it from a waiter at a hotel that he previously visited a while ago.
All right, Cleveland, let's get down to business. Who told you the joke?
A bellhop at the Royale Hotel in Washington, D.C.
The group requests that Cleveland take them to that guy so they can learn the true source of the joke. However, Cleveland is a bit hesitant at first, but seeing that all the boys are together, he hops in the car as they head to meet their waiter guy. On their way there, the group plays the game of if they will do this or do that, which ends up turning into the most homophobic, misogynistic, and racist conversation that you could possibly think of.
Would you rather get a massage from a man or surgery from a female doctor? No, but actually, you know what? I'm going to take it up a notch. Hispanic female doctor or gay male masseuse?
So it's basically, would you rather get a massage from a gay man or die?
I don't want to sound homophobic, but I don't want to die either. Damn it, Peter, you got me. The Quahog boys aren't really in any different position as they also admit defeat. Peter is smug that he finally got one on Quagmire, so he is about to ask them another question when suddenly they get attacked by a black car in which several men dressed in black open fire at them. Fortunately, Joe has his own gun beside him, which he uses to blow the tire of the following car, which saves them for the time being. However, this doesn't stop them from searching for the source of the dirty joke, so they keep on going till they finally arrive at their destination. The hotel is in Washington, D.C., so while they are looking for the waiter, they also decide to visit some famous monuments.
Hey, check out that Vietnamese guy giving the business to those Vietnam vets.
Scoreboard! Scoreboard! Oh.
I don't have much to say about this, as this was a bit too dark. You are all going to hell for laughing at this one, myself included. Soon the boys arrive at the hotel, where they meet the waiter, but before they can ask him about the source of the joke, he runs away while leading the group into a barren location. There, a couple of men ambush the group and kidnap them. The higher authorities order the men to bring the boys to their island, where Peter and the rest of the boys get to learn about the source of all the dirty jokes in the world. In the end, to free themselves, Peter and the boys end up destroying the whole island as they escape using the only plane on the island, which brought them here in the first place. The next episode on the list is Throw It Away, where Lois becomes crazy and kicks everyone away. The episode starts with Lois forcefully taking Peter to the show The Flow, where he complains about how boring it is going to be. Lois tells him that it's not going to be that bad, and the real problem is that she can't just leave him alone at the house because the last time she did that, he was caught by the kids watching internet corn.
No, it's not even mine. I just clicked on it. And come on, it's not like it's gay corn. It's gay corn. It was baby corn.
If it was Quagmire or Herbert, I wouldn't have been surprised. But Peter, well, this was not on my bingo list for 2025. This is only the relevant part of this episode, as the rest of the episode is just Lois being dramatic and throwing everything out of the house just because she wants to feel zen. At first, Peter and the children are reluctant to throw away all of their trash that they have been gathering in their rooms, but after suffering the wrath of Lois, they silently take away all of their belongings, even those that are dear to their hearts, like Peter's DVD of the song Surfin' Bird.
Peter, that's like your 50th bag. What could possibly be in there?
Oh, have you not heard?
Ryan, no!
After throwing away everything useless in the house, Lois is still not satisfied, so she decides to kick Peter out as well.
Peter, I don't think I can have you in the house right now.
You can't kick me out of my own house. The house that I pay for, that I semi-pay for with help from your parents, that your parents pay for entirely, but I get to put the mortgage coupon in the mailbox?
This guy really has some thick skin to admit living in a house that he doesn't even own. I still can't understand how he even bagged such a rich and hot chick like Lois in the first place. The top 10 biggest Family Guy mysteries that will never be answered. After throwing away everything, and even her husband, Lois still can't find that peace, so she decides to go on a journey to find herself. But it's all meaningless as she discovers that even after losing everything, she didn't gain anything. Fortunately, Peter and the rest of the family are able to convince her to come back, and their lives go back to normal as they previously were. Peter isn't the only one with a corn addiction, as Chris is no different from him. The episode German Guy starts with Lois complaining to Peter about Chris's habit of personal amusement.
His little habit of personal amusement is getting way out of hand.
Hey, Chris is just a growing boy, and every growing boy has his own needs. What's so bad about occasionally beating your meat?
It's Chris's blanket. We gotta do something about this. I'm pretty sure our washing machine is pregnant.
Oh, okay. Maybe he does need to find some other hobbies, or else he might end up destroying his little friend from the way things are going right now. That's exactly what Brian suggests. So Peter calls Chris downstairs to ask him if he wants to go out and find some hobbies with him.
Yeah, Dad? We're gonna find you a hobby. What do you think of that?
Okay.
There you go, that's the spirit.
Peter takes Chris out for a walk, and on their way, they stumble into Mr. Herbert. Herbert is over the moon that he stumbled into his favorite kid this early in the morning, so he is about to initiate a chat with him, but Peter takes Chris away, saying that he shouldn't spend too much time with the elderly as they are dying. What an awful thing to say to an elderly man who is dying. However, Herbert doesn't mind, as his mind is focused on something else.
Please, God, let me just sniff his hat. Let me just sniff his hat. That's all I want.
This is the biblical level of greed if I have ever seen it. Later, Peter teaches Chris about philately, in hopes that Chris will make some money while also trying to distract himself from all that pent-up lust. However, Peter soon realizes how boring this hobby is, which gives him an idea on how to free both himself and Chris from this lustful and disgusting world.
Now this is a loaded handgun.
To be honest, with how boring that hobby sounded, I would have done the same. Although traumatizing your son for the rest of his life by blowing your brains out in front of him is one way to go. Now, I don't know how Peter got randomly revived, as in the next scene, he appears to be completely fine and takes Chris out to find another hobby, the oldest hobby in history.
All right, Chris, this is one of the oldest hobbies in existence. Drinking.
I don't think he's old enough to drink yet, Peter. That's what Jerome tells him. So Peter leaves Chris outside and heads inside to drink himself. Chris is bored, so he decides to go visit the new puppeteer shop in front of the Clam, where he meets an old man named Franz, who is a puppeteer master. Chris and Franz quickly become friends after discovering their shared passion for puppets, and Herbert doesn't like this one bit.
Oh, no!
Now you might be thinking that Herbert is worried because Chris is cheating on him with another old man, but the reality is far more horrifying. Herbert immediately rushes to the Griffins and tells them that Chris is in real trouble. The old man that Chris just befriended is a Nazi soldier from Hitler's army.
Franz Gutentag is really Lieutenant Franz Schlecknacht. the most sadistic SS god in all camps.
Ah, so this is where the episode title comes from. And no, Hitler was not a German. He was from Austria. Herbert informs the Griffins that he was an Air Force pilot during World War II, but his plane was shot down by German planes, which became one of the causes of his capture.
Most of the surviving American pilots were taken to camps, but for some reason, they thought I was gay, so I was taken to a concentration camp.
Can someone call the FBI on this guy? Also, check his hard drives. There should at least be terabytes worth of filed in there. Herbert continues to explain his story on how Franz brutally tortured and killed so many of his companions, which is exactly why Chris should stay away from him. But Peter doesn't believe him, so Herbert decides to take matters into his own hands. He tries to tell Chris about Franz's true nature, but Chris doesn't want to listen to him, as he has done terrible things to him in the past.
Help me what? Clean your pool with my shirt off? Or wash your car in jean shorts? Bend over in front of you to get little bits of lint out of the rug?
Oh, sweet child, the reality is in front of you, and yet you still don't understand what Herbert wants from you. Even though Chris doesn't want to believe in Herbert's words, he still can't help but ask Franz if what Herbert said is real.
Oh, Chris, you can't always believe what you hear. For example, everybody thinks that is illegal, but there are ways around it.
All right, let's do it.
Both of you are under arrest for
Remember, kids, she's not a if she's an actress. Yeah, I stole this one from Family Guy, and I am not ashamed to admit it. Back to the episode. Peter knocks on Franz's door, who opens the door and invites him in. While Peter is talking to Franz, Chris heads out to the bathroom, but since he doesn't understand the German language written on the doors, he accidentally enters into Franz's secret Nazi room. Franz discovers him and locks him and Peter both into the basement. As they are waiting in the basement, Peter finds a peephole which allows them to shout at someone outside to help them, but no one listens to them. So Peter gets an idea, and he asks Chris to bring him the old radio, which he uses to play loud music to attract the attention of the neighbors. Since it's daytime, everyone is busy with their work, so no one comes to explain, except Quagmire, who is sleeping in his bedroom when he wakes up from the loud music. But he just plays his own version of white noise, which helps him go back to sleep once again. This doesn't sound like your typical white noise. Please check this guy's hard drives as well. Even though Quagmire doesn't come to help, the good old Mr. Herbert is always there to rescue his sweet little Chris. So to help out Chris, Herbert heads back home and grabs his old fit for the Air Force to once again strike the Nazi fields of the Hitler's army. And so it begins, the slowest battle I've ever seen in my life. In the end, Franz loses his balance and ends up falling to his death. And just like this, the battle comes to an end, and Herbert takes home the victory, and Chris.
Thanks for everything, Mr. Herbert. If only I had listened to you, none of this would have happened. You were my real friend all along. I'm sorry.
The next episode on the list is Teagues for Two, which got so dark that they had to delete a scene from it. The episode starts with Peter going to a cleaner to pick up his clothes. However, he notices that one of his white shirts is missing. The Asian cleaner, Mr. Washi Washi, tells Peter that he doesn't have his shirt, but Peter doesn't believe, so they start to argue. Only after Mr. Washi Washi threatens to call the police on Peter that he leave and promise that he will get back his shirt at all costs. Peter returns home and tells Lois about it, who is mad at him for treating Mr. Washi Washi so harshly, as he has been their only cleaner for the past 10 years. So she asks him to call Mr. Washi Washi and invite him over for dinner so they can talk to him calmly. No wonder they deleted this scene. The backlash would have been crazy if this episode were released in the era of cancel culture. At the dinner, Peter once again brings up his shirt, which makes Mr. Washi Washi extremely angry, so he leaves the table and also bans the Griffin family from ever entering his store. But this isn't enough to make Peter give up, so later at night, he breaks into Mr. Washi Washi's house to get back his shirt. But Mr. Washi Washi discovers him and threatens to shoot him, but Peter is still adamant that the shirt belongs to him.
Okay, it's not my shirt.
However, when he tries to wear it, he quickly realizes that it was all a misconception and that Mr. Washi Washi was right from the start. Mr. Washi Washi knows that he has the right to kill Peter for breaking into his house, but Peter warns him that his shirt will be ruined. So they decide to settle things another way.
We have fight, but I pick venue.
Deal.
After being washed out by Mr. Washi Washi, Peter is sent to the police station for breaking into someone's house illegally. Later, Brian heads to the police station to pick him up, where he finds Peter doesn't want to come back home.
Number 3287.
Come on, Peter, I'm here to take you home.
I don't know, Brian. This is the only world I know anymore.
Peter, you've been in there for 15 minutes.
Nah, they can't do this. This was one of my favorite scenes of one of my favorite movies ever. Peter was here. R.I.P. The next episode on the list is Jerome is the New Black, which is just as dark as its name. The episode starts with Cleveland leaving Quahog to settle in Virginia alongside his wife and kids. Meanwhile, the Quahog boys are now depressed because their group isn't fun anymore without a black guy amongst them. So Peter and the rest of the boys decide to find a new friend to fill the hole in their group. When Brian learns about it, he asks Peter if he can join them, but Peter refuses since Quagmire hates him.
Quagmire hates me?
Hates you.
I don't get it. Why wouldn't Quagmire like me?
Because he thinks you're annoying. Like people who never shut up about their kids.
I totally know, right? They be ruining all the vibes by talking about their kids all the time.
He would have been 4 today. I still don't understand. How do you drown in an inch of water?
Oh, this is what he meant. Just act like I never said anything. Back to the episode. The group is at the Clam once again, where they stumble into Jerome, who is the coolest black guy that they have ever seen. They quickly become good friends and decide to hang out later once again. However, Jerome hasn't had enough fun, so he invites them for a few more drinks, but Quagmire rejects since he has a few important errands to do.
I can't. There's a girl tied up in my basement who needs some food.
That's funny. You funny, Pointy Man.
Yeah, I joke around a lot.
Of course. Who else but Quagmire? After the group parts, Peter invites Jerome over for dinner, and when they arrive home, Peter regrets it immediately as it turns out that Jerome and Lois already know each other.
You guys know each other?
Know each other? Peter, Jerome is an old boyfriend of mine.
What?
Oh, sorry I was out of it. Wait, are we being robbed?
Spoken like a true white American. Meanwhile, this is all going on. Brian is quite upset that Quagmire hates him, so he tries to strike up a conversation with him to learn why he hates him in the first place. But he ends up making Quagmire hate him even more by saying a few things about his sister that he should have kept his mouth shut about.
Ah, taking a break, huh? She's a hot piece of ass, and from the looks of it, she likes it rough.
That's my sister, Brian. Her boyfriend has been beating her mercilessly. The last thing she'd want right now is to be objectified.
Oh.
On the other hand, Peter isn't any different, as he tries to keep Jerome away from Lois, but he ends up making things only worse. Even his friends don't support him in getting rid of Jerome. Joe tells Peter not to ruin their friendship because he has already ruined way too many things in the past.
You know the way you ruined my parrot? I just bought it yesterday. Isn't it beautiful?
Cripple, 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 cripple!
Damn it!
On his way back home, the drunk Peter accidentally burns down Jerome's house by throwing a beer bottle through its glass windows. Jerome has no place left to live, so Lois decides to let him stay at their place. Later, Peter dresses up as a ghost in the hope that Jerome will become scared and run away on his own.
Oh, surely, Jerome, you don't want to stay in the same house as a ghost who carries a torch around.
I don't think that's a ghost costume, Peter. After realizing that Jerome isn't afraid, Peter just decides to kick him out by telling him that he can't allow him to stay at the house because he's afraid that he might end up banging his wife. Jerome leaves, but he leaves behind a sadness in Peter's heart, which only continues to grow stronger after Lois hands him the present that Jerome bought for him. Peter becomes guilty, so he rushes to the Clam and apologizes to Jerome for everything that he has done. He realizes that he was just too jealous that Lois might run away with him. That's why he did all of this.
We cool, Peter, we cool. But listen, there is something I gotta fess up to. While I was living with y'all, I had myself lots of nasty ass with Meg.
I don't care about that.
Having watched enough Family Guy, I am pretty sure that it was Meg who would have made the first move, so my boy Jerome doesn't deserve any heat for this. The last episode on the list is Pawtucket Pat, which had a scene so disturbing that even I was forced to shake my head. This episode starts with Brian searching for a new topic to write an article about. However, nothing seems to interest him, as most of the things online have already been covered by people before. This is where he decides to dig into history and search for something that no one has ever written an article on. That's when he stumbles upon an old diary of the hero of Quahog himself, Pawtucket Pat. Inside the diary are shocking facts which, according to Brian, will turn the whole Quahog town upside down.
Oh my God!
What?
He says that he didn't create his recipe for beer. He stole it from some Native Americans and killed them to keep his secret.
The following day, the whole of Quahog Town is gathered at Quahog Park to tear down the statue of the racist and murderer who has been considered the hero of the town for so long. Peter tries to defend Pawtucket Pat, but when he learns the true history, even he can't help but agree with the angry protesters.
God, there's a lot wrong with this, but you can't tear this down. Pat's an icon. That statue belongs right here in the park, next to the statue of Quahog's greatest missionary, Father Touchboys.
No wonder he was the greatest missionary. Peter's resolution to stop the protesters from tearing down the statue manages to protect it for some time, but there are a lot of people who aren't happy with it, so they start scheming behind his back. One of such people is Brian, who takes Stewie with him to tear down the statue in the middle of the night and make it disappear.
All right, great.
But before we begin, I'm just going to use the park bathroom at night.
Stewie, no!
I got a lollipop!
That took a dark turn out of nowhere. Poor Stewie. It's sad that he won't even remember it because of how young he is. The episode ends with Peter and the rest of Pawtucket Pat supporters coming to terms that he wasn't a great guy and that they shouldn't make a hero out of him. Whether you laughed, cringed, or questioned your morals, Family Guy definitely knows how to stir the pot. Let me know which moment you think went too far, or if dark humor is just part of the show's charm. And make sure to like the video with a click on that subscribe button so you can continue to watch exciting videos about Quahog's psychotic residents. Until then, peace out.